Welcome to The Refresher, bringing you the latest in Dota 2 news, tournaments, meta, and memes. This episode covers the week preceding the 18th of September 2017, which brought us stacks of tournament announcements and qualifiers, a bunch of new team names, and finally some official news from Valve about the upcoming tournament season. Let's get straight into it. In the state of the game this week, not yet. Valve has just released a new announcement saying that they're still working to get the Dueling Fates patch out, but they expect it'll take about another month, so hold tight. Based on the tournament schedule, the 30th of October or the 6th of November look like the most likely release dates. In Valve time this week, we finally got some official news about the upcoming tournament season, which Valve has dubbed the Dota Pro Circuit. There's 5 big talking points in the announcement, so let's walk through it. Firstly, the official tournament schedule, and boy is it jam-packed. Since the leak list appeared at TI7, 5 additional minors have been added, putting the total to 11 majors and 16 minors, spread between mid-October and mid-June. This is what it looks like on a calendar. Minors are in blue and majors in red. And those highlighted dates appear to be for either group stages and playoffs, or playoffs only. So every single one of those tournaments has to fit in 6 regional qualifiers and potentially group stages somewhere in those white gaps. It's going to be a very, very busy season. All of the minors have a $300,000 prize pool, and all of the majors are $1 million except for the very last one before TI8, which is a $1.5 million pool. That's a total of $16.3 million in prize pools across the year, not including TI8, which is actually insane. That's already $2.5 million more than every premium and major event from the last year combined, and it doesn't include upcoming tournaments that aren't going to be Valve sanctioned, like WESG with its $1.5 million prize pool. The second big announcement was something that seemingly no one saw coming. Valve has decided that for this season, coaches will be allowed in the booths with players for the draft section of their competitive games. Feedback from the community was mixed, with some people disappointed with the fact that it devalues players who are exceptional drafters as well as being mechanically talented, while others were excited at the prospect of higher quality and more versatile drafting. Another concern was that it further advantages established teams with money who can afford a top-tier coach, but ultimately we're just going to have to wait for the first round of tournaments to see how it pans out. The third part of the announcement was clarity on how qualifying points will be calculated and assigned. The calculation part is super straightforward. The number of points available for each tournament is the prize pool divided by 1,000 and then multiplied by 1.5 if it's a major. So that's 300 points for the minors, 1,500 points for the majors, except for that last one, which will be worth 2,250. As for assignment, Valve has dictated the split for themselves, which means it's likely that the percentage of prize pool money teams take home won't be the same as the percentage of qualifying points they receive. First place will get 50%, and second place will receive 30%. For tournament formats that don't differentiate between third and fourth place, both teams will receive 10%, and for formats that do, third place gets 15% and fourth place gets 5%. Placing 5th or below will earn teams no qualifying points. Each player on a team will receive the full amount of qualifying points if they place at a tournament, and a team's point count is calculated by adding the top 3 players' scores together. The 8 highest scoring teams after the final major will receive a direct invite to the International 2018. Valve made it very clear in the post that direct TI invites are the only thing qualifying points will be used for. They will not guarantee invites to the regional qualifiers for TI8, nor will they affect direct invites for the majors and minors throughout the year. Full discretion for that is given to the organizers of each individual tournament. Fourth talking point is roster locks. Valve has finally opened up the registration page once again and is accepting teams from now up until the start of October before playoffs for the first minor get underway. There's no exact date for when these rosters will unlock, but the page says that the next registration period will start in early 2018. Which is going to be very interesting to see play out, given that tournament playoffs are basically running back-to-back from the start of January next year. The penalty for changing teams during the roster lock period is a severe reduction in the amount of qualifying points that can be earned from placing in a tournament. Changing one player or using a sub during the LAN component of the tournament will result in a 25% reduction for the 4 primary players and a 50% reduction for the sub. If 2 or more players are changed in the team, all player earnings are reduced by 75% for the remainder of the roster lock period. The final thing to talk about in relation to this announcement is what Valve didn't say. Given that they've now announced the prize pools and qualifying point totals for every tournament of the season, it's pretty clear that community crowdfunding will not be making a return. Bringing back crowdfunding for third-party tournaments was strongly requested after Valve announced how they were planning to run this season of competitive Dota. It's going to be interesting to see how this decision affects the production style and quality of tournaments, given that Valve is providing no assistance to organizations for producing the events, and that their primary revenue source will have to be through advertising and sponsorship deals. On to esports news now, and this week we got a few more roster announcements and some new team names. Demon has found a place for himself on up-and-coming Team Tuho, and Team Empire has reunited with Vanscore to fill the spot left by Roger. Digital Chaos still hasn't made any official announcements, but it looks like their teams have been finalized at King's Cup. The main squad has added MSS and Moon Meander to play alongside Mason, Arbed, and Bulba, and the new DCSA squad consists of HFN, Artun, King Tekka, Matthew, and King RD. After deciding on the name Team Phoenix last week, the Korean squad announced this week that they've been signed to NA esports organization Immortals and will be playing under the Immortals name for the upcoming season. And Syndra's new team has decided on the name No Diggity. In tournament news this week, we got more King's Cup, regional qualifiers for the PGL and Starladder Minors, as well as a bunch of invite lists for the first two upcoming majors and some drama to go with them. First off, in King's Cup, the league matches have just finished up, resulting in a three-way tie for the top spot between the Dire, Complexity, and Digital Chaos. Infamous has scored the 4th place for entry into the playoffs, while VGJ Storm, DCSA, and Leviathan have all been eliminated after some rough performances over the past 2 weeks. Tiebreaker matches were played between the top 3 teams to determine seeding for the playoffs, and with the Dire coming out on top in both matches, they'll be going up against Infamous, while DC and Complexity will duke it out for the other spot in the finals. The playoffs will be running this coming week on the 19th and 20th, so tune into BTS on Twitch to see who will score the direct invite to the Summit 8. In the PGL Open this week, we had regional qualifiers for China, Southeast Asia, and South America. VGJ Thunder took a surprise victory against LFY to take the Chinese slot. The new Mineski squad duked it out against Execration and came through with the victory in SEA. And in South America, Infamous Young beat the main squad of Infamous to get to the finals, only to lose 2-0 to DCSA. Europe, CIS, and North American qualifiers run this coming week. BTS is covering those as well, so head over to Twitch and check them out. Starladder's iLeague Invitational 3 ran their qualifiers for Southeast Asia, South America, and CIS this week, with Mineski showing they're a force to be reckoned with and taking the SEA slot for this tournament as well. DCSA wasn't able to boast the same feat, making it to the final round of the South American qualifier but losing out to SG Esports for the top spot. But the most hyped victory of the week was for the winner of the CIS regional qualifier spot, Na'Vi. Things were looking tough when they lost to Team Spirit in the upper bracket finals, but they pulled through, beating Spartak Esports 2-0 in the lower bracket finals before facing up against Team Spirit again, but 2-0ing them as well and taking the invite spot. Given that Na'Vi missed out on performing for their home crowd at the Kiev Major, having them back on the main stage in Kiev is going to be a huge boon for Starladder and all of their local fans. Starladder also announced their 2 direct invites for the tournament this week. They're bringing in the top 2 teams from TI7, Team Liquid and Newbie. Meanwhile, ESL announced the direct invites for ESL 1 Hamburg, and surprise surprise, it's the same 2 teams. But they also announced a massive regional qualifier list to go with them. 12 teams will be competing from all 6 regions for 1 spot each. Open qualifiers are underway right now, with the closed qualifiers starting this week on the 21st. And that's a stark contrast to the closed qualifiers that DreamHack announced this week for their upcoming major, Dream League Season 8. A lot of negative feedback was sent their way after they revealed that all of the qualifiers except Europe and CIS would have 4 teams competing only, consisting of 3 direct invites and 1 open qualifier slot. In North America, EG, DC, and the Dire were invited, leaving Complexity, Immortals, VGJ Storm, and Leviathan to battle through open qualifiers just to have a chance at competing in the major. Directly invited teams for China haven't yet been announced, but it's going to be a similar story. Several top-tier teams are going to have to play through open qualifiers if they want to try out. DreamHack responded to the criticism by saying that their primary reasoning for the limited format was due to the difficulty of scheduling large qualifiers with so many events going on, and the fact that Valve is not providing any monetary support for the production of these events. Given that the scheduling for tournaments only gets tighter after Dream League happens, this could be a sign of things to come in the upcoming season. Finally, with Valve releasing the Pro Circuit tournament schedule, we got a few new official announcements from some of the organizations that will be running upcoming majors and minors. The Perfect World Masters will be the minor running from the 19th to the 26th of November, taking 3 direct invites, 2 Chinese qualifying teams and 1 team from each of the other regions to LAN playoffs in Shanghai, China. And Dota Cinema is back with Captain's Draft 4.0, running from the 4th to the 7th of January in Washington, D.C. In this week's meta review, things have been pretty stable once again. Monkey King and Mirana saw boosts of just over 1% in pick rate, and Legion Commander, Wind Ranger, and Zeus also saw small rises. Falls in pick rate were very spread, with Kunkka and Ogre Magi taking the top spots, but only falling by half a point. Win rates were very stable as well. Spectre and Zeus are still neck and neck for the top spot at 57%, closely followed by Necro, Wraith King, and Pit Lord. In the content corner this week, Hotcox is on fire with 2 new episodes, one with Lacoste and Grant talking about the differences between NA and EU, and another with Grant and Jack going over the new Dota Pro Circuit announcement. Zyori and Trent Pax are in episode 113 of the Zyori podcast, talking about Slax's wedding, new team rosters, and their upcoming Midas Mode tournament. A kind internet person has translated the latest Chinese meme comics, and YouTuber Dota D Bowie has released a new video titled 5 Things High MMR Players Do That You Should Do Too, and it's definitely worth watching. And Dota Cinema has been busy working on some new content that they announced this week called the Community Hero Project. The premise is a custom game that's exactly the same as regular Dota, but the community can submit their own ideas for heroes and vote on the suggestions, with the highest rated heroes being created and added to the game. They already have some new heroes created by Sunsfan and Slacks, which you can head over to their YouTube channel to see previews of. And now it's time for Shitpost Central, showcasing the stupidest shit people voted to the front page of Reddit. Dota lost to Monopoly on Twitch this week. No one denied his teammate Solo an invite to FPL EU, and the org behind the Manila Masters is super seriously auctioning the chair EE fell off for charity.
Jackie Mount, ladies and gentlemen. Game 1 in a nutshell.
The real Arteezy Baby Rage emerged on Instagram, and the latest trend keeping people from losing their sanity on Reddit is making shitty 7.06 movie posters. In stream highlights this week, Sing Sing makes a friend on the SEA servers, ODPixel is back with the musical Flames, and FPL streams give a great insight into how Sumail and Arteezy work together while drafting. Blitz shares his fetish, Rodeo Flames PPD, and Demon styles on Fear with some sick Tranquil Boot drops.
Oh, you see? How slow are they? You see? How slow are they? What the fuck?
What the fuck? What the fuck? Oh, that accent is so funny.
See? I bet them. Sing Sing.
That's good shit, kid. That's good shit. But I'm fucking dead. And so is my Sven, by the way.
Oh, it's Wolf. You dead is Wolf.
Meanwhile, somewhere deep in Asia, there's a fucking Midas Venomancer.
This your next ultra kill. What the fuck?
PPD should never quit. Stop playing random card games. I don't care how much money you get from the developer. You're the CEO of EG. Oh wait, you're not anymore. That burn was easy.
I'm just gonna farm. Yeah, sure. Give me this. Excuse me? Yeah, I'm serious.
Not
like
against
not
against this hero, sorry.
Hey. What are you? What are you? No, you're picking me this hero, buddy.
I'm not.
Where'd you go?
I'm not listening to you anymore, dude. You gave up your chances after the SF game.
I swear to God, if you don't pick me that hero, I'm gonna go crazy, sir.
Chances aren't looking good here, guys.
Is there a reason why I play this kind of pubs over FPL? Oh, you know how those like dudes that like really like getting smashed in the nuts? Like that's their sexual fetish? Well, this is mine. The only way that I can get off is if I watch people farm at a mediocre pace.
I'll take that.
And when my team does nothing without me, and this guy's level 6 at 18 minutes, oh shit, dude. About to nut.
Damn.
Wait, who asked? I asked you.
Yeah, why did you ask me? It wasn't even involving you.
You literally messaged me on Steam and said, Peter, please unvouch me.
And you ignored it, so why take an interest now?
Because I'm curious about your comeback. You almost stayed out of the league for what, like 2 days?
Yeah, I was out for like a solid few days, taking a break, so I wouldn't stop getting awful players like you. Took a stroll to the beach, saw some more washed up shit.
Gracious.
Okay. Alright, man, welcome back. Hope we're teammates this game.
Yeah, you were right.
Yeah, just look at him, and this guy's crazy.
And now Demon's about to die here. He's actually, oh my god, he's Tranquil Boot drop it. Oh my god, Demon's one of the greatest players of all time as well. He just baited him into another set of kills. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. Like, if you guys have room on...
That's the refresher for this week, folks. Coming up in the next 7 days is literally more Dota than anyone could ever need. With Kings Cup playoffs and Star Ladder, PGL, ESL, and Dream League qualifiers, there's going to be 143 best of 3s, 7 best of 5s, and a heap of open qualifying matches as well. So pick a team, pick a channel, and go watch some great Dota. Hit subscribe to get the report on how it all shaped up next week, give us a like if you enjoyed the video, and leave us a comment about the friends you've made playing Dota.